먼저 오신 분들을 위해서 간단히 좀 미리 안내를 드리면 오늘 세션은 이게 엑스포로 하면서 국제포럼으로 하기 위해서 외국에서 서울대학교에 와 계신 전문가 공무원들, 석박사 과정에 있는 공무원들이, 연구자들이 각 나라에서 하고 있는 그린 그리고 스마트 에너지를 활용한 스마트시티 정책, 사례, 또 협력 방안 같은 내용들을 오늘 논의를 할 예정입니다. 그리고 저희 참여하고 있는 이 국가 장학생들은 또 돌아가서 그 나라의 또 한국의 여러 산업들과 또 여러 가지 공공 사업들을 기획하고 또 협력할 수 있는 그런 인재들로 정부에서 지원하고 있는 인력들이고, 거기에 더불어서 저희 새만금에 지금 두 번째 같이 오시는 분들인데, 중장기적으로는 또 여기에 이제 인력 양성 센터들 같은 게 생기면 거기에 또 추가적으로 글로벌 인재들, 또 이 지역 인재와 연계돼서 이 지역을 또 글로벌 산업에 또 필요한 인력 양성의 어떤 기반을 갖기 위해서 오늘 포럼을 시작하겠습니다. 저 시작해도 될까요? Okay. Thank you everyone. 모두 감사합니다. 저희 오늘 첫 이 세션은 주제로서 신재생에너지 융합 스마트시티라는 주제로 시작을 하게 됩니다. This subject is selected to create the vision and strategy for 새만금 and also the innovation park of 전북 Technology Park. Since we are pursuing future civilization in this 새만금, where we can create new way of living and also new kind of job for the professionals. And at the same time, also we expect that how the new energy clusters such as green and renewable energy can be fitting with also many new developments such as smart city or a project in many nations. Today, especially we invited the global expert, especially public leader from 3 countries where they actually also pursuing national development through also eco-friendly renewable energy infrastructure, at the same time also smart city civilization. So we will have an order change. We'll have a speaker, Mr. Witawat, who is from the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, will be giving our first presentation. And then second presentation will be given by Ms. Indah Survaria from the Indonesia, who's from the State Department of Statistics of Indonesia. And then finally, also presentation will be given by Ms. Florence, and who will be talking about the ministry, talking about the also new energy sector of Kenyan case in the context of the smart city. And she is from the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of the National Government. First, I'd like to also introduce and invite Mr. Witawat, Mokonao, and Asayan, and then we'll be talking to the Smart City of Thailand, and which are 7 fields that include environment and energy dimensions. So please join me to welcome Mr. Witawat.
안녕하세요. 저는 위타와트입니다. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Witawat Mongkonawasathian. Yeah, I'm from Ministry of Digital Economies and Society from Thailand. I'm happy to be here to share with you guys about the Semangum's in here in some Semangum new renewable energy expo in this year. So in this session, we will talk about the smart cities policies that related to energy sectors and how renewable energy relate to smart city. Yes. Before today, I would like to talk about a review of the becoming of smart cities in Thailand that will cover in 4 parts, like why do we need smart cities? And the first step that smart city implementations in Thailand, and also green energies and environment, and what is the next steps? Yeah, why? Why do we need the smart cities, right? I think most of people have some same questions, also me. Because of, right now, because of the world populations, based on the United Nations report, they said that today we have like 55 of world populations, 55% of world populations that in urban area. And the urban population ratio will reach out around 68% by 2015. And the projection show that urbanizations and the shift to in the resident of the human populations from the rural area to the urban area that combine for overall the growth of the world populations and increased around 2.5 billion people by 2015 and close to 90% that increase, especially taking place in Asia and Africa. When population increased and moving with the people moving to the urban area, that might have effect in several issues, because of the limit of the resources, and city need to be expanded. So in the cities, this kind of some of the problem that city face off, urban area have very kind of challenge in many issues. First, overpopulations. Rapid urbanizations had led to overcrowding in many cities, straining resources and infrastructure. And urban planning, poor urban design and planning can result in inefficient land use and lack of the green space and inadequate public amenities and housing affordabilities also. And waste management, managing and disposing of the waste in the urban area is like significant challenge and impact to environmental sustainable. Moreover, for the healthcare challenge, crime and safety, inequalities and economics disparities are pronounced in the city also. For the inequalities of the level of the urban energy consumptions and pollutions, there are some challenge. City occupied by just 3% of the earth land, but account for 60 or 80 to 80% of the energy consumptions and 75% of carbon emission in nowadays. So many cities are also more vulnerable to climate change and natural disaster due to their high concentrations of the people and location. So building urban resilience is crucial to avoid the human, societies, and economic loss. Then, what is going on if we can handle those kind of the problems with new technologies? Smart cities is the one of the concept for urban development concept that utilize the technologies and data to improve the quality of life of the people in the cities, enhance urban services, optimizing the resource, and while reducing environmental issues. look at the definition. Actually, definition is not important, but if we look at the definition of smart city, there are many kinds of the definition and no exactly meaning. For an example, in Korea, yes, define smart city as a sustainable city wherein various the service are provided based on infrastructure and integrating construction technologies. And if we look at the Singapore, they also define as the where that people will be more empowerment to live, meaningful and fulfill life. Enable seamless with technologies and offerings exciting opportunity for all and others. You see, in European country and in European Union, in United Kingdom, Spain, even in international development, American Development Bank also. This kind of the definition of smart city. But even there is no exactly the meaning, but they are the same meaning in the same direction. Actually, for this, I use ChatGPT to see what is the common definition of smart cities, and they said that that means yes, a city that is an urban area that leverages information and communication technologies or ICTs to enhance its operations and improve the quality of the life of the residents. This is the meaning of the smart cities. So let me talk a bit about ASEAN. I think most of you know about ASEAN. ASEAN is stand for the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, intense member country in Southeast Asia. With you can see from the map from Southeast Asians, and this area or regional have the population is more than 600 million people and become the sixth largest economy in the world. And with such rapid urbanizations, ASEAN cities are facing of the challenge in the city at the same that I mentioned before, like congestions, strain of infrastructure and pollution. And in 2018, ASEAN also announced establishment about the ASEAN Smart City Network to improve the ASEAN citizen using by the technologies such as enable the promote of the cooperation among the ASEAN cities and develop the commercialized variable project together with private sector and provider and facilitates collaboration with other partner from other overseas countries. This is the first step of the ASEAN smart cities. Then for smart city, smart city development to develop digital technologies for livable cities, modern, smart, and yes, to solve kind of the problems. And we need to integrate for the existing one with the modern technologies as well. This is the way of the smart cities. All right, we know for the global and ASEAN. Right now, let me talk about the smart city in Thailand. What happened in Thailand also? Before I think, okay, I will talk a bit about Thailand in brief. Yes, Thailand in Southeast Asia, the area around 500,000 square kilometer. Bangkok is capital city, and we have the population around 67 million people, and GDP, yes, around 500 US dollar. This is the Thailand overview at the grant. And many developing countries are struggling with the middle income trap at the same as Thailand as well. So we launched the policy about Thailand 4.0, a policy that aims to unlock the country from economic challenge, which placed emphasis from agriculture, light industry to heavy industry, and to be high value based industry for crossing a middle income traps. This kind of the first step that Thailand government tried to do. And after that, to reach out the goal of the Thailand 4.0 policies, government has launched a national plan with a digital transformation. This is the digital landscape for 20 years. There are 4 phases. From the first one, digital foundation, to invest and building data foundations. And second phase, inclusion, that ensure that everyone can reap the benefit of the technologies. And the third one, full transformation to driving the country with the digital technologies and innovation. And right now we are at the third phase. And the next step for the fourth phase is global digital leadership, that we want to lead with the technologies and innovation and become a developed country. This kind of our goal for 20 years. And also, because of in smart city, data is the core value that we can use to improve many things that someone they call like data is the new oil and useful for all service. Then we need to set up the architecture for the government side to support smart city implementations. Infrastructure, data and service are a core of the smart city development. And then for the first step, should transform the government first, right? The government service integration need to define the system architecture, data format, standard, and interoperabilities and portabilities. And currently, like Thai government also try to integrate and build the structure of the government data right now. And for smart cities, in Thailand, government prioritize smart city also as a national plan. We also define smart city in our viewpoint means a city that take advantage of modern intelligence technologies, innovation, which aim to increase efficiency of city service and management. And there are 7 dimensions about smart city, such as smart environment, smart mobilities, smart living, smart people, smart energy, smart environment, smart economies, and the governance. Look at the smart city. To implement the smart city in the city, we need to evaluate, right, the impact to urban development based on urban characteristics. Actually, for example, we can categorize like 3 cities. First, like small town that to migrate the problems, inequalities. For the city that become bigger with the new lifestyle, new job, business disruption with technologies. And for the rural area, to focus on the quality of life of the people, but they need to align with the conservation of the culture. And the positive impact can be paradigm to understand and solve the problems. Quality of life follow the sustainable development goals, environment and economics. Meanwhile, the negative impact might be disrupt traditional business, job, and inequalities of the people can access the digital device and security and privacy. And then the government should prepare for development of the smart city, such as design and planning the policies, technologies, appropriate technologies, law and regulation, financing, and one thing for people in our country. How to prepare for smart city development? So because smart city is not belonging just to the government sector, but for all, we need to make collaboration with the stakeholder. For the citizen should be involved in the designing process that reflect need that they want and the problem that they are facing. And private sector also can lead and provide the appropriate technologies for solving and enhancing, while academic and research institutes can support for manpower and research. In Thailand, the government involved stakeholder and private sector to construct a smart cities. And there are 5 requirements to propose for smart cities. First, like you need to define smart city zone. What do you want to do? Set up your goals and objective, and then define the smart city action plan of the technologies and infrastructure. Then the third, provide the city data development plan, such as this city data catalog, data exchange, and governance, and propose the solution that you want to solve the problem in the city based on 7 dimensions that I mentioned before. And the last one, management for sustainability plan for all of the stakeholder engagement. This kind of the city data platform is the framework to define what kind of the common data or standard data for the city based on city data such as existing data and real-time data that we need. Then we can use for analyze as the analytic platform to cleansing data, processing, and apply to city application service. And however, we need enhance the laws or policies or regulations, and also upgrade skill for the people. And this is the current status of smart city in Thailand. We have all of the city that to be smart around 36 cities, and there are 2 kinds of smart city. First is livable cities. It means that existing city that we develop to be a smart city. And the second one is being the newly designations urban from the zero to be smart cities also. I think just only 2 area that we develop from the zero. Yes, based on smart city in 36 cities or area, we can count the project for 7 dimensions that we found. That environment dimension is the most solution for the first rank, and then smart living, smart mobility, and energies. And if you consider the smart city solution, the budget that we spend, we allocate the budget for smart mobilities at the first, maybe because of we need to connect the people from A to B with the mobilities, and after that from smart energies and economies are the same in the 11,000 million baht. So then, what is the green energies and environment development in Thailand Smart City? This part will cover the example of the project about smart energies and environment. Based on the number of the smart solution that I mentioned, we found that smart environment is 21% of the total of the project, and smart living for 19%, mobilities and energy 13%. But for the goal of the smart environment development, we aim to increase the efficiency management in water, in air qualities, in waste and green space by international standard, and reduce carbon dioxide emission less than 1% per year. And also for the goal for the smart energies to increase the efficiency of utilities and increase renewable energy more than 1% per year also. This kind of the smart city project in 7 dimensions. So this is one of smart cities in energy solution. We call this city is Memo. Memo is a small town, small city in the north part of Thailand. Most of people doing in the agriculture, like farming, as corn farm and others. But you know, the problem is because of farmer, after they have produced kind of the agriculture product like corn, and after that they burn the rest of corn, like the waste of corn, as peel and leaf that affect to produce carbon dioxide and dust, many kind of the carbon dioxide and dust, and also for the forest fires that happen many times. And to solve this problem of the forest fires and smoke sustainability, managing waste biomass from agriculture sector with the mammoth communities that use as energy fuel. There is a coal-fired power plant also by Electricity Generating Authority of Thailand in Mammoth. Then they have collaborated with the city to launch agricultural waste to energies. Instead of burning of the agricultural waste, the power plant buy the waste from communities and produce biomass pellet, then feed to be fuel to generating power plant system. This kind of the benefit that community can have to get more income, reduce waste, reduce risk for forest fires, and reduce carbon dioxide. This is the one of the example that we have. And for the next one, Khon Kaen. Yes, Khon Kaen is the big city more than Mammoth, but in the northeast of Thailand, Khon Kaen is recognized as the modern smart city in Thailand that focused on sustainable growth and development. As I mentioned before, data is a core of the smart city, right? So there is city data platform that show the quantities of the garbage from the city. They show garbage disposal site as well, that kind of the open data. So the common community waste problems are being addressed through in-house waste separations for reuse and initiative incorporate with we use Internet of Things or IoT system to have kind of the shake of the sensor along with to measure the waste quantities. This integration helps the city to manage and handle waste management on the community that more efficiency. And the result of this project is safe, like 75% improved from the previous waste management. And also for enhancing the stable of the energy utilization, they also implement a smart grid to promote the waste to energy power plant around 2.1 megawatt and promoting solar rooftop to increase the ratio of the renewable energy by 3% per year. And the next one, example of smart cities project in Nakhon Si Thammarat. Nakhon Si Thammarat is kind of the big city, same as Khon Kaen, but is in the southern area of Thailand. They have kind of the project they call Refill Cities, a smart solution for healthy environment. This is the flagship of environmental campaign for smart city office in our ministry and also with the city. The Refill City address both issues to make clean water and more accessible and promoting to use the reusable bottles also. First, the plastic waste. Refill Cities project aim to reduce one-time use plastic bottles waste in Nakhon Si Thammarat through the citywide initiative that connects citizens with the business that offering free and clean water. And second one, for sugar consumption, because of by promoting reusable bottles and sugar-free drink, Refill City encourage people to have like healthier lifestyle that reduce the burden on the public health system and increase a culture of the consumptions. The Refill applications gamify accessing clean water and raise awareness about the plastic waste and encourage behavior change. The citizen can earn reward by using the applications, while local business gain free advertising and tax incentive for participate in initiative. This project initiative provide benefit for everyone in the cities, from the citizen to the local business, through reducing carbon footprint, promoting healthy lifestyle, encourage sustainable consumption habit, and contribute to a cleaner and healthier and more equitable communities. This project expects to reduce the plastic waste and carbon footprint and promote the healthy as well. And you know, this kind of the pilot project right now in Nakhon Si Thammarat, but this project get win from the excellent teams of the Presidential Hackathon International Track this year in Taiwan also. So then, what is the next step from Thailand digital smart cities? Actually, this, as I mentioned, this campaign or this plan has launched since 2018, and right now the plan also is ongoing, and we try to expand more smart city that cover 77 provinces around the country and keep continue for existing project for improvement. And we hope that Thailand will become a center of smart city development in ASEAN by 2013 and can be like a rank in the world rank for smart city in the next step. So this is all of that I want to share with you about Smart City Thailand. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Witawat. We'll get back to Q&A, some panel discussion after all the speakers actually make a presentation. And also we'll discuss some solution how Saemanggeum and also Jeonbuk Technology Park and also some of the city in Jeollabuk-do and Jeonbuk province can cooperate together with some of the smart city project in those countries. So our second speaker is Ms. Inda Silvaria, and she'll be talking about the boosting digital green economy through green smart city, and also experience and also plan and strategy from Indonesia. So please join me to welcome her.
네, 안녕하십니까? 저는 인다입니다. So good afternoon, everyone. So I would like to say thank you for Saemanggeum government and partners for holding this particular wonderful expo. So I'm Inda Silvaria. I'm from Indonesia. Today, as the topic of this expo is about new and renewable energy, I would like to talk about the related to the green economy or green GDP. So here are my contents for this expo today. So I would like to talk about the green GDP. So I think we are all know about the green GDP is different from traditional GDP. So what makes green GDP is useful? Nowadays, since the Paris Agreement, every country is creating their green roadmap to achieve zero emission or even certain amount of green GDP or green economy. So what is green economy or green GDP? So actually, green GDP is recognized activities that positively contribute to the environment and the society. For example, investment in renewable energy, conservation, and etc. That also enhance our quality life. So this also as a valuable tool for policymaker. So with green GDP, government can highlight the benefits of sustainable and eco-friendly practices over short-term economic growth that come from the expense of the environment and society. However, there are some limitations in the calculating of green GDP. So I mentioned about the sectors in green GDP calculation, such as agriculture, energy, especially in how much clean energy had been used and how much they contribute in reducing carbon emission, construction and infrastructure, waste management, conservation and environmental protection, manufacturing such as EV battery manufacture, EV manufacture and extra, and also transportation sector contribute into calculation in terms of cost environment, and also forestry sector for calculating the CO2 reduction, services, renewable energy, and environmental technologies such as windmill, electricity generation, solar panel, geothermal, and extra. So after we know what kind of sectors that contributing in calculation of green GDP, of course, we want to know what kind of benefits exactly of green GDP. So as I mentioned before, green GDP is a vital tool for integrating sustainability into economic decision making. First, it will help in balancing economic growth and environmental protection by highlighting the trade-offs between economic growth and environmental protection by highlighting the trade-offs between economic development and environmental conservation. Second, it can help government allocate resources to areas where environmental and social costs are high, so the intervention can be made to reduce it. Third benefits, it can attract the investor to fund the sustainable services or project. And the fourth benefit is encouraging the efficiency of using natural resources and to decrease environmental costs. The fifth one, it will indirectly improve our public health. Why? Because of as our environment getting better, but using the natural resources and more efficiently and also doing environmental protection, of course, it will have improvement in our public health. And the sixth benefit is if it helps the country to reach the sustainability goals. So if all the countries doing the green GDP, of course we can achieve global sustainability goal. Now I want to mention about smart city and green city. So before our panelists also talk about the smart city, so we are known that smart city is referred to the ideology of urban planning using advanced technologies, starting AI, infrastructure management, big data, and also engagement with citizens to focus solving the problem. But green city is more focusing about the climate change, environmental side. So we can conclude that green city and smart city, I'm sorry. Can you help me to next slide? Okay, so the green smart city is especially a concept that combines two elements of them. Green smart city is the combination between smart city and green city. So green smart city will have the environmental side and also technological side. So the synergies between green GDP and green smart city will have significant impact on both sides, environmental side and also economic side. So in environmental side, we can see that the synergies come from resource efficiency. So this resource efficiency such as energy efficient use, smart grid, smart meter, and smart transportation system or smart waste management to reduce and lower environmental costs. So for economic side, it will increase the job creation. For example, if there is hub for technological innovation, it will attract startups to join them. As I mentioned earlier, it is also benefited to economic growth as well as green GDP increased by investment in green area. So both can be achieved if the value of smart city applied, which are data-driven decision making and also citizen engagement. So I want to mention about this paper, Smart Sustainable Green Cities. So the author is explaining about this graph. So he has the opinion that if we combine urban computing and digital technology into the cities and use the environmental side, sustainable value, and the smart cities together, it will create like the livable future cities, which is, I think, all of the country right now is pursuing this goal. And from those synergies and from the livable future cities from that paper, we can sum up the benefits of applying green smart city for green GDP, which is it can boost our green GDP. So the first benefit is collected integrated data. Of course, with smart city, we can easily integrate all of the data, all of the kind of data. And also the data will have the interoperable value, and it also can help reducing the environmental costs. And of course, with every technology that used in smart city, it will make green GDP easily to calculate. When the green GDP easily to calculate, so the monitoring can be done, so the renewable energy integration and the investment also will improve and increase in that country. So I come up with these strategies and technologies to apply both of them, green GDP and green smart city. In this section, I have opinion that the strategies can be applied in especially developing countries who want to create their own green smart city. They should have these three strategies, which are sustainable transportation, energy efficiency, and green infrastructure. So for the technologies, I propose that for the sustainable transportation is electric and autonomous vehicle, and use it as a public transportation. For strategies in energy efficiency, we can use smart grid and build the energy efficient building. And for green infrastructure, we should develop renewable energy sources and prioritize the adoption of it with sustainable urban planning, such as mixed land use priority. So when we want to apply all the strategies and technologies, of course, there are challenges to be faced on. So I will talk two main challenges for developing country to apply them. The first challenge I mentioned here is upfront cost. Why is upfront cost? Because building green infrastructure, building smart green cities can be very expensive, making it challenging to get started. So the solution that can be solved this challenge is through public partnership, public-private partnership, which is the collaboration between government, private investor, local communities can provide the funding needed to get green projects off the ground. And the second challenge is resistance to change. So the resistance of change can from the certain stakeholders or even the community's members itself. So the solution for this challenge, I suggest the solution is from through education. So we need to create the engagement, the awareness from citizens, and we should educate them what kind of benefits of green smart city in our country. So now I would like to talk about my country, Indonesia, current situation. So this is the green economy index that Indonesia have, and this one is the data, the last data that we have for the green economy is 2020, and the index is like 59.17, which are consisted by the forest cover, and then the share of renewable energy, this part, and the managed waste, percentage of greenhouse gas emission, and also degraded of peatland. So in this part, in National Medium-Term Development Plan, which is from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, we want to moving toward a sustainable development and green economy as a part of our economic transformation. So we want to use this green GDP to escape of middle income trap in Indonesia and achieve high income status by 2045. So right now, the economy structure in Indonesia is changing to be able to offer about 1.8 million green jobs, securing high average GDP growth annually about 6.5% until 2050. And of course, we want to focus to improve the share of the renewable energy sector, because the share of renewable energy sector in Indonesia is still the smaller part of the green economy in Indonesia. Now we can see the indicators that we use for calculating our green economy index, which are from environmental indicators, social indicators, and economic indicators. So this is the strategy that we used in Indonesia. So one, we're focusing on low carbon economy, circular economy, blue economy, green economy, and energy transition. And the second strategy is we are relocating our capital city to the new capital city. It calls IKN, which is expected to be as a source of new growth economy. And the third one is like we want to strengthen our domestic economic integration, and it will be a focus on a super hub for air and maritime. Of course, we want to use digital transformation to be achieve all of this strategy. So right now, we are moving from brown-based economic investment to the green-based economic investment. So what kind of investments that right now emerging in Indonesia is like about renewable energy investment, low carbon industries, circular economy, environment-friendly bio-based industries, and also improve economic productivity, especially in agriculture, because right now, Indonesia is also known as the agriculture products. So this is our President, Joko Widodo. He mentioned in Leader Summit on Climate Change 2021. So one of the main commitment that he mentioned in that event is about the unlocking investment in the energy transition through the development of biofuels, the lithium battery industry, and also electric vehicles. So, and this is also aligning with the regulation from Ministry of Energy and Resource Mineral that they mentioned the government will accelerate the implementation of electric cars and electric motorcycles, and with some benefits for user, especially for PEVCS or PEVBES and other private businesses. For example, is the exemption from the obligation to pay the minimum amount for the first 2 years. So this graph shows about the current situation of electric vehicle in Indonesia. So right now the awareness brand recognized by Indonesian people for electric car in 2019 is mostly by Toyota Prius, Tesla model, and Nissan. And this is the Indonesian vehicle sales in 2019. So the electric car sales, it's still only 1.12%, which is very small. But right now, Indonesia has a commit that they will increase this particular electric car vehicle sales to 10% in 2030. So here, I also mentioned about some regulation regarding to the electric vehicle in Indonesia. So I would like to mention 3 of the main regulation, which are from the Ministry of Finance and National Energy Board. They are drafting the subsidy transfer policy to electric vehicle buyer. And the second main regulation is from Ministry of Transportation and Ministry of Industry. They creating the policy on internal combustion engine or the traditional vehicle to the electric vehicle conversion. And the third one is from National Standardization Agency and Ministry of Industry. They are working together to create the policy on battery standardization standard to encourage the battery swap or the battery exchange, because right now in Indonesia we want to convert the traditional vehicle like a motorcycle to use battery to its like exchange to the electric motorcycle. And as I mentioned about the national commitment that our president talked in National Leader Summit, I will focus on Indonesia electric vehicle ecosystem. So as well as to improve the share of renewable energy in green economy, Indonesia now is jumped into EV business. So the main aspect in Indonesia EV ecosystem is we want to create the public awareness between government, stakeholders, engagement of citizens. So we want to create public awareness. So it can be from education, it can be also from public advertising. And next, the main aspect is upstream industry development, which is the batteries itself. So we want to improve these industries in Indonesia. The third main aspect is developing local industry for main components such as brushless DC, electronic control unit or ECU, and any other supporting component. So the fourth one is building PEVCS. PEVCS is a public electric vehicle charging station, and PEVBS is public electric vehicle battery exchange station. That I mentioned earlier that in Indonesia we want to have the public place to exchange the battery for electric vehicle. The last main aspect in our ecosystem is developing recycle industry for used EV batteries. So in this particular main aspect, the last one, we don't have yet in Indonesia the recycle battery for used EV batteries. So here I want to talk about the projection of the charging station and battery swap in Indonesia. So in this graph, on the left side, this graph is talking about the projection that installed unit of PEVCS and installed unit of PEVBES. So as you know, Indonesia is consisting a lot of islands. So we want, as the Indonesian government wants to be able to reach this projection of installed unit public electric vehicle station, we want to spread it into all of the islands. So right now, up to June 2023, there are already 842 units installed PEVCES in 482 locations in Indonesia, and also 1,331 units of PEVBES installed. So all of them installed in different locations such as gas station, department store, office complex, parking area, and hotel. So most of the installed PEVCES or PEVBES mostly in Java Island, but it's also needed to the other island because of the electric vehicle users are not only in Java Island, but right now the units installed in Sumatra Island is about 163, in Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Maluku is 116 units, and mostly in Java Island. So our capital city, the new capital city, will be in this island, Kalimantan Island. So next, I want to talk about the downstream industry of EV, which is the batteries industry. So in Indonesia, we have 6 big smelters of nickel sulfate production for batteries. So this is the assumption or the generated production of nickel sulfate production in Indonesia. It's up to 373 gigawatt per hour. But the downstream industry in Indonesia, we need to develop more, especially in this particular site. So we want to develop the downstream industry for battery precursor, cathode, battery cell, and battery pack. So this downstream industry is not yet available domestically in Indonesia. So the efforts from Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, they want to provide the incentive to business entities to develop downstream industries, EV industries, and supporting infrastructure, especially in this part. So, and the last graph in this slide is about the demand for batteries in Indonesia at 2030. So in Indonesia, we want to achieve in 2030 about 20 million electric vehicles, which is consisting of 4 wheels and then 2 wheels. 4 wheels is like about 2 million, and motorcycle 2 wheels is about 13 million. So battery demand right now in Indonesia in total is only about 108. But if Indonesia wants to reach this target with 20 million 4 wheels EV, it will need about 780 gigawatt per hour. But right now, currently, Indonesian smelter is only can produce about 373. So it means there is still an opportunity to invest in Indonesia about 407 gigawatt per hour for EV battery. So I also mentioned in this slide about the world supply chain in batteries technology. So all of them are the company who have the technology in EV batteries, but the yellow color, it means the company is already operating in Indonesia, but the green one, such as LG, CATL, Hyundai, and Wuling, they are a newcomer in Indonesian market. So right now they are starting to do the electric vehicle industry and also batteries industry. So I come up with the policy recommendation. So the policy recommendation that I come up is inviting investment from battery technology business entities to develop this battery supply chain in Indonesia, which are with providing easy licensing and incentives, and also providing ease of importing products that have not been produced domestically in Indonesia, but as well as a commitment to building domestic industry in Indonesia. So I come up with the conclusion with that I mentioned about green GDP and the renewable energy sector in Indonesia, and our focusing right now is increasing the battery EV technology, battery EV industry in Indonesia. So aligning policies with sustainability goals, it can attract green investment, and also effective monitoring can leverage the green and smart initiative to boost green GDP. And the second conclusion is the holistic approaches from both sides, downstream and upstream industries with sustainable value as part of smart city services can contribute to economic growth and environmental well-being. So thank you for allowing me to share my ideas, opinion, and my current situation in Indonesia in this wonderful expo. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you so much, Ms. Indah Subaria, for giving us such also insightful strategy you are having in Indonesia. I believe there are very common areas that Semangam and also the Indonesia can cooperate in the pursuit of the green economy, at the same time also smart city civilization. So hope we continue that discussion in panel discussion. So the last speaker is Ms. Florence Kwamboka Mosetti. She will be talking with the title, the Threat and Challenges, Opportunity in Green Smart City in the case of Kenya. And please join me to welcome Ms. Florence.
Good afternoon. My name is Florence Kwamboka Mosetti. I'm honored to speak to you today at the Semengun New and Renewable Energy Expo 2023 on building sustainable cities with a particular focus on renewable energy. And I'll be sharing some light in the energy sector in Kenya. Kenya has made notable strides in renewable energy, but it still faces challenges that I will discuss later in the presentation. I will also offer some policy recommendations along with collaboration project proposals in the renewable energy sector in Kenya. That will be my outline. I'll share brief history on our country profile, and also go to the energy landscape in Kenya. Then I'll speak on the strides that we have made in the renewable energy. Then I'll talk about the renewable energy potential in Kenya. And I'll speak on the challenges and the incentives, and lastly on the collaboration project proposal. The Republic of Kenya is located in the East Africa region. The population is approximately 54 million people, according to the UN estimate, and the capital city is located in the southern central part of the country, which is Nairobi. Kenya is among the largest economies in sub-Saharan Africa after Nigeria and South Africa, but it is the largest and most advanced in the East and Central Africa, with its GDP accounting for more than 50% of the region's total in terms of the current market prices. We are also strategically located within the borders of the Indian Ocean, hence strategic in the production and distribution base for Africa, Europe, Middle East, South Asia, and Indian Ocean islands. As you see, Kenya is a multi-ethnic, multiracial, and multi-religious country. So any person can peacefully coexist, whether by working, trading, or living in Kenya. Kenya is also a home to a variety of geographical landscapes, inland lakes, mountains, beaches, and the rich flora and fauna. So now I will talk on the energy landscape in Kenya. We have the ones who do the generation, transmission, distribution, consumption, and we have them. We have the oversight institution, which is headed by the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, and also the Energy Tribunal. The generators, we have 5, which is the Kenya Electricity Generation Company, Geothermal Development Company, Independent Power Producers, Nuclear Power and Energy Agency, and we sometimes import from our neighboring countries, which is Uganda, Tanzania, and Ethiopia. For transmission, we only have the single mode buyer, which is just the main one, Kenya Electricity Transmission Company. And for distribution of electricity, we have Kenya Power and Lightning Company and the Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy Corporation. I'll speak next on the strides that we have undergone in the renewable energy sector. Kenya has witnessed a remarkable evolution in renewable energy with a strong focus on reducing carbon emissions, diversifying its energy sources, promoting sustainable and affordable energy solutions. The Kenya electricity generation mix is, currently we use hydropower, which gives 25.50%, geothermal, which gives 28.04%, and we also use wind, which generates 12.82%, solar, which generates 7.83%, and lastly, thermal, which we plan to face by 2024, that generates 20.67% of the electricity in Kenya. I will talk next on the renewable energy potential in Kenya. In the geothermal, we have an estimated potential of 10,000 megawatts, and it's mainly in the Rift Valley region, because geothermal offers a reliable baseload power and has low electricity production costs. We'll also talk on the energy potential of hydropower, which we harness through runoff rivers that pumps and stores them in the reservoir. And we have a potential of 6,000 megawatts, comprising of both the small and the large hydros. And we have specific regions that are suitable sites for the pumped storage hydropower projects, which will store energy in the form of water in an upper reservoir, pumped from a second reservoir at a lower elevation. I'll talk about the solar. As I said earlier, Kenya is strategically located on the equator and therefore experiences high insolation rates for over 6 hours of peak sunshine, resulting into 4 to 6 kWh. Of 25% of this energy can be converted to power. And lastly, we have potential in the wind also to produce 1,000 megawatts of wind. We have over 10 sites that have wind speeds over 6 meters per second, which is the requirement to harness wind power. And we have the largest being in Lake Turkana in Africa, which has 310 megawatts. I'll speak next on the challenges that we have faced in Kenya in the renewable energy sector. Mostly it's on the long lead time from the concept to the production, the investment cost that is needed upfront before any production, the high resource exploration and development risks, heavy investment in transmission and other support infrastructure to the existing load centers, and social issues like land use conflict issues. And the government is trying to support and fund the geothermal resource by assessing and developing the management of geothermal exploration risk, and so as to attract the investors. The government is also streamlining the licenses and allocation of geothermal blocks with incentives to accelerate geothermal development. And lastly, it's promoting early geothermal generation through the implementation of efficient modular geothermal technologies. In hydropower, the challenge is in the vulnerability to the various variations in hydrology and climate change, leading to a reduction of water levels in the reservoirs, and mostly also relocation and resettlement of the affected persons to create room for the construction of reservoirs. And lastly, delays in the implementation of viable projects and long lead time. I'll speak on other general challenges that the energy sector has encountered. One is in the inadequate storage capacity in existing power generating reservoirs, because we produce sometimes more power, but we still don't have adequate storage. And I said earlier, we have quite a lot of licensing and approval requirements. There is intermittent and reliability, because the variability of sources of energy strain the grid, making it unstable, and we require effective energy solutions. We also have policy and regulatory hurdles, which leads to delays, because they developed a policy which is not yet being used, since we still use the 2006 Energy Act, yet the 2019 is still on. We have a limited local capacity to manufacture power components and equipment. We have a single buyer model because all the power generated in Kenya is sold to one company. And off-grid power plants usually sell power at a higher cost than the single buyer, which results in resistance from the community. I'll speak now on the incentives for renewable energy in Kenya. For countries that want to invest in Kenya and operate within the special economic zone, the chargeable tax is at the rate of 10% for the first 10 years from the date of the first operation, and thereafter 15% for the other 10 years. There is exemption from stamp duty for registration of companies. The feed-in tariffs for the development of solar and wind projects. Investment deductions at the rate of 100% for power generating plants and equipment, including the building, housing, the power generating plants, and those operated within export processing zones. And there is an insurance that is covered by an agency in Kenya. We also development of public-private partnerships by the government, driven by the Public-Private Partnership Unit pursuant to the Public-Private Partnership Act No. 15 of 2013. The government also issues letters of support and comfort for both project companies and their financiers to enable and support project completion. And capital repatriation and remittance of dividends and interest to foreign investors is guaranteed. I will speak now on the collaboration project proposals. As one of our major challenges was in the battery storage, so I will speak about that first. The proposed project will provide a solution to address the excess energy production during off-peak hours and the increased intermittent capacity in the national grid so as to balance the demand and supply in the system. The project, you expected to install the grid-scale battery energy solution and ensure grid reliability and provision of auxiliary services. The project is at CAPEX because it depends on the megawatts that is required, and the owner will be the national government. The second collaboration project proposal is on the static synchronous compensator, which will provide efficient management of voltages on the Suswa-Isinya corridor, and its estimated project cost is $74 million. And lastly, the proposal is on the solar and energy storage because so that when you harness the energy from the sun, you can be able to store it for later usage, maybe at night. And this is a project proposal for 52 households in a place called Migingo. The project will include the construction and start of a solar PV plant and electric energy storage commercial operation. Yes, and the owner will be the national government. The required works will be on the solar PV system and the storage system. And that is the estimated cost, but it will vary. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Florence. And also, I'd like to ask all the speakers to come up to the stage. And we will continue the story that Ms. Florence actually say as a proposal. I think that is a very good idea, that you provide some information about the project opportunity, which is actually real, not just idea, but that we can create some ODA or some World Bank or infrastructure fund, and engaging also Korean company, right? And also maybe together with Indonesia, right? And for this battery operation. So I think that they can find some creativity, right? How we can collaborate. But before we move on to, how to, make this project opportunity to do the cooperation, also I'd like to ask also other countries like Kenya. I will ask, next to Ms. Indah from Indonesia, that, all we are doing is, here with Semangum, we also try to create new way of living and new way of business, and also energy. And it's also part of our civilization. We are looking for some civilization from our country, each country, to share each other. Like you say, also Indonesia, also pursuing another way of civilization, and also Thailand. So I'd like to ask Indah and also Mr. Witawat that, in this kind of, civilization, in what areas of civilization you believe Korea, especially the Semangum here in Jeonbuk province, and also part of your country or the country can cooperate together, and where are the areas, what are the ideas of the project? And may I ask Ms. Indah first? Thank you, Ms. Inda. Also Saemangeum and also Jeonbuk Technology Park and this ecosystem already been identified as a kind of national innovation hub for not only renewable energy, but also, the various, battery innovation, right? E-charge and your second level of the battery and recharging battery. And so I think also maybe in your country, would be able to, some of the industrial park, right, that you're planning next to, let's say, your new capital, right, or somewhere you're in, right, and then probably we can create a joint, say, the industrial park, right, or technology park together. So our company can have a factory there together, and you using also creating a job together, and your people also come over, and also we share many of your nickel and other, right, and also share our technology together. I think there are some of the win-win situation because the demand is so high, but still we do not have enough factory, to build all the over in a short time. Thank you. Hope we continue discussion on how, and also Mr. Witawat, and so I'd like to ask you, on what area we can collaborate. Okay, thank you, Mr. Witawat. So actually, you gave a lot of idea, but I think some of them, so practically, also we would be able to solve or provide good infrastructure, green infrastructure solution for the urbanized, urban problem, right? And then create new green urbanization into the city that also Thailand does, right? And then into the city of Korea. Especially in Jeollabuk-do, Jeonbuk province, we have a lot of cities, not only the Saemangeum, Jeonju, and also Wonju, and also Gunsan. So I believe also many of these cities are also equipped with a great government research institute, and digital twin, right? And also agriculture and farming, and at the same time providing some, let's say, green bio solution for, right, waste management, right, and also circular economy. So maybe, transforming into, right, and then maybe exchanging, right, education or research collaboration. Finally, I think in this expo, we have many research organization also who presented their invention and their innovation, right? And then probably co-create, right, our R&D ecosystem, right, together with Thailand and also Saemangeum or Jeonbuk province. So, and also Jeonbuk province had our own autonomy, right, and being a special province of the state, so which will be starting next January. I think in that way, a lot of also our governor would be able to have, right, to make a decision like that used to be the national level, but so we can actually do the deal as a governor to talk to your president, right, and then on the national level project together, because we are the, right? And so I think that's very important. And so what probably, if I summarize that so far, the project idea from Kenya, there are a lot of infrastructure type of project, right? Including solar and other, right? And also geothermal, many other, right? Renewable energy infrastructure level, right? And based on real estate, you need the land, right? And the power, and also government permission, right? Which we can raise the funding from World Bank or Korean Exim Bank, KOICA, right? And also infrastructure. And then also, secondly, also the Ms. Inda mentioned of creating this energy economy together, right? A green GDP by having your industry and our industry cooperating together, especially battery and other, right, energy area. And then thirdly, also, probably in the city level or province level, right? And then, Thailand actually proposed for us to share R&D together. Finally, we have a larger marketplace. Maybe, that Thailand can open the door of this, one of the largest economy in the world to ASEAN, right? And having those solve problems. Okay. Thank you. And then maybe, like as a, sometime, I think also I will ask to the speaker, or I will ask also the audience from the floor, how this cooperation can be funded, or any project opportunity you believe that you can talk to the Kenyan government, or Kenyan government talk to the Korean. So I'd like to open a questions or idea from both sides of either the panelist or the audience. 혹시 지금 사실 굉장히 중요한 여러 가지의 이제 앞으로의 사업 아이디어와 또 저희 전북과 또 이런 이제 특별자치도로서 국가 레벨의 많은 어떤 협력과 또 자치권을 가지게 될 텐데 거기서는 개발 협력 사업, 또 R&D 사업, 또는 이노베이션 파크나 이런 것들을 새롭게 빌드해서 새로운 어떤 지역 생태계를 발전시키는 대규모 사업들에 대한 이야기들이 좀 있을 수 있을 것 같은데요. 그리고 basically I think those will be mostly started as a G2G, government to government, right, contract in the beginning, and then business or private support, right, under the government credit. 그래서 대부분 정보반의 계약에 의한 이제 저희 산업들이 양쪽에서 조인해서 사실 거기에 이제 기반되는 비용 플러스 이제 서로의 어떤 인베스트를 하는 그런 여러 가지 모양들이 있을 텐데, 혹시 또 이 엑스포에 오신 또 전북 테크놀로지 파크 관계자분들이나 혹시 또 다른 엑스포 혹시 질문이 있으신지요? Do you have any questions or ideas and opportunity? Maybe we will share the card, and also as I hope we continue the discussion. And Seoul National University is planning to actually have a base in also Saemangeum, as a R&D center, which is actually creating global R&D business together with Korea and other nations. So hope we actually can create some of those projects into, so to develop the economy of Jeonbuk province. Finally, then I'd like to ask the speaker to give a word that, that how you probably see, the Korean, right, strengths or initiative, what you have seen from the Expo or many of the civilization effort, right, including renewable energy sector. How do you recognize those either successes or trial important, right, for our global economy? So just for last your remark, that I'd like to ask you, each of you to talk. So this time I'll ask Vitawa first, and then Inda and Florence.
Okay, thank you, Professor. So, actually, Indonesia and Korea has been in good relationship within 50 years, like collaboration, coordination in every aspect. And I think both of the country has mutual benefits from the collaboration and coordination within these 50 years. Such as in Indonesia, we have big population compared to Korea. So anytime Korea invests to Indonesia, anytime Korea build a company in Indonesia, it helps Indonesia to create a new job, to increase the new job field. And it also has the benefit to Korea because in other way, Korean company who are in Indonesia also
Especially Indonesia plays very important as one of the very biggest leader or strong leader in ASEAN. And also you are now also creating great momentum to build an electronic economy, and then which is also, based on renewable energy and all good energy, I think, which is good direction. And also learning from all these is actually energy business is not local business, it's a global business. And then, in order to do the global business, you need a global company, or you need to create a global company. And that means the company has to have the people from all around the world. Thank you. And Florence?
First of all, I have immense gratitude to the Korean government for giving this opportunity for us to study here. Like, it is among one of the best collaboration, especially in the education sector from the African countries, so that we can also have the skills and be able to innovate and create more opportunities and harness all the resources that we have and collaborations. So what South Korea's achievements have done is very essential to recognize their innovation, their technology in every aspect of their lives, and how research and development is very critical for the development of our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Florence, for your acknowledgement and recognizing also some of the things that what we are doing in Korea, and also stressing that importance of education, and that we believe that Korea now provide very good quality of education to not only for Korean but for the world. I feel that very proud that finally Korea become a destination where all young people come over to study and create a job and prepare for the future together for the humanity. I think very encouraging, but that also gives us that we have to learn about the society of all the world, what is going on, what problem exists, and what those problems should be solved with what opportunity. I think, also thank you very much, 3 young leaders from your country to share, also your knowledge and smartness in Korea. I'll speak a little bit as a concluding remark in Korean. 지금 오늘 같이 패널로 해주신 분들은 저희 정부의 과기정통부에서 국가장학생으로 본국에서의 어떤 공무원들이시면서 뭐 여러 가지 분야, infrastructure, 에너지 또는 스마트, 데이터 이런 분야로 실제 그 나라의 이노베이션을 위해서 여러 가지로 의사결정과 추후에 그 나라의 리더가 될 분들입니다. 그래서 지금 현재 서울대학교에서 한 20년 동안 그러한 리더들을 전 세계 80개국에서 장학금을 줘서 국가가 저희 새만금이 꽤 오랫동안 이제 투자를 한 것처럼 그래도 지금까지는 끊기지 않고 또 나중엔 또 카이스트랑 또 나눠서 하고 좀 앞으로는 저희 전북대랑 또 여러 가지 또 여기 있는 좋은 교육기관들과 그 생태계를 나눠서 사실 전 세계 많은 또 재원들이 한국에 와서 배우고 돌아가고 또 국내에서 저희 기관과 같이 해서 사실 저희와 함께 어떤 새로운 산업을 일으킬 수 있는 일꾼으로서 준비하고 있는 분들입니다. 그래서 오늘 조촐하게 마련한 자리지만 또 그리고 또 영어로 진행되는 이 자리인데도 처음부터 정말 진지하게 그 말씀 들어주신 여기 계신 모든 전북의 전문가 여러분께 큰 감사와 경의를 표합니다. 저희가 이번에는 이런 사실 그 시작과 또 어떤 것들을 할 수 있는가에 대한 것들을 공유하고 고민하면서 한 몇 개월을 준비해서 오늘 이 자리를 가졌습니다. 그래서 이 기회를 빌어서 앞으로도 많은 어떤 또 교육과 또 기술을 수출하고 또 수입하고 또 확대하고 그래서 그것을 어떤 새로운 문명의 발상을 위한 새로운 협력이 이 새로운 새만금과 전북의 어떤 새로운 시대에서 시작될 수 있으면 굉장히 큰 보람이 될 것 같고 서울대학교가 국립대학으로서 국가의 많은 여러 가지 꿈꾸는 새로운 지역의 발전을 위해서 한다는데도 큰 새로운 모범이 될 수 있을 거라고 봅니다. 앞으로 저희가 전북에서 전북 테크노파크와 또 새만금적과 또 기타 교육기관들 그리고 또 연구인과 많은 협력을 적극적으로 하려고 합니다. 그래서 저는 금년만 벌써 지금 3번째로 이제 전북으로 오는데요. 예, 뭐 연말까지도 계속 오려고 하고 있고, 뭐 세계에서 많은 리더들을 또 모시고 오려고 합니다. 그리고 내년에는 저희가 그동안 전 세계에 어쨌든 나눴던 그 지식과 또 교육의 사랑과 또 한국의 자랑할 수 있는 많은 그런 부지런함들을 나눴던 그 전 세계 리더와 인재들을 또 이 새만금으로 초대할 수 있는 그런 엑스포가 될 수 있으면 좋겠습니다. 여러분들과 오늘 이번에 마지막 남은 기간들이 엑스포가 잘 또 성공하시길 기원드리고, 또 19년 동안 해온 이 일들이 또 내년 20주년이신데 큰 발전이 있기를 바랍니다. 뭐 어려운 환경에서의 어떤 많은 글로벌 펀딩 뭐 아니면 국가의 지원이 줄었다고 하나 그것들이 저희가 가진 계획과 열정과 또 혁신적인 아이디어는 바꿀 수 없다고 생각합니다. 더불어 사실은 진정한 혁신은 어떤 지원에 있고 없고에 의해서 이루어진다기보단 실제로 그걸 극복할 수 있는 굉장히 중요한 저력과 돌파력과 기세를 가지고 있다고 봅니다. 그래서 한번 이번 엑스포가 전북에 있는 지금까지 이건 많은 공들이 또 크게 발하고 또 어려움을 극복해내고 또 새롭게 내년을 준비하는 그런 엑스포 때가 바랐고, 처음 있는 이 글로벌 포럼이 앞으로도 여러분들과 함께 전북과 또 한국의 새로운 세계 인류의 어떤 글로벌 문명을 할 수 있는 새로운 새만금을 알리는 그런 계기가 될 수 있으면 좋겠습니다. I really thank you everyone from all Jeonbuk province who've been actually listening to all of us for our preparation. We feel very honored to share our ideas and also to our proposal. Hope we actually do the action together and also develop those the idea together into the business and finally create a job for our young generation both in Korea, in the world, here in 새만금. I also thank you all the panelists. 감사합니다. Thank you.